What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta, coming to you live from the Steven Singer Studios. And as always, the Farzy Show is brought to you by Destination Retirement at destinationretirement.com. Oh, my goodness, what a day yesterday. Howie Roseman does the Howie Wow Me thing, but it didn't start like that for a lot of people. We'll get into that a little bit later. D-Gunn, our old friend, will be joining us coming up in just a minute. Talk to us all things Eagles about the trade where Howie Roseman, yeah, that's right, as it says down there in the title, way below the scroll in the YouTube page, fleece. He fleeced the Saints. Howie, old sandbagging SOB. How about that? So we'll talk about that. My initial reaction. What I think most people's initial reaction was to it, especially with the way Shefty tweeted out the story. So we'll give you that. And then we'll also give you this. Little reaction to Kansas last night. Coming back the way they came back was incredible. Couple of Joel Embiid stories, as per a former Sixers assistant coach. We'll get into that. And, of course, the Phillies coming to – oh, guys, I don't know how to break this to you. Bryce's stock is in the middle of a slump. An epic, horrific, horrifying – those pretty much two of the same things. But just an awful slump. All right, he's 0 for 5, folks, in his last 5 at-bats. We'll talk about how to remedy that and how his batting average is just plummeted. Just plummeted since that began. So we'll get into all that today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to show you this because my mind broke yesterday when Adam Schefter tweeted this out. I didn't know what this was. I was trying to read it, and I'm reading it, and Eagles are sending – I'm like, okay, hold on. Number 16, 19, and number 194 in the 6th round to the Saints in exchange for 18, 101 in the 3rd round, number 237 in the 7th round, and a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 second-round pick per sources. So for this year, the Saints now at 16 and 19, the Eagles at 15 and 18. Here was my reaction, and just hit me in the comments, tell me if I was right or wrong, tweet me after the show, whatever it might be. This is the feeling I got from text messages. I got from some friends of mine that were immediate. A couple of tweets I saw, whatever. You see the tweet from Shefty, and you go, here's 16, 18. How we traded first round picks? Howie's an idiot. God, why did he accumulate those picks? And then like a minute later, like, wait a minute, let me just try to dissect that one more time. And then a little bit later, our friends over there at Eagles Nation put this one out here, and I'm like, okay, so hold on a second. This breaks it down a little easier. Eagles gave up 16 and 19 this year and a 6th rounder. Okay. And they did that in order to get back still another first-round pick, so they still have 2 first-round picks this year. And then they have a 3rd pick, 7th pick this year as well. And then another first next year. So they have 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year. And an extra second-round pick in 2 years. And then it made things a little bit easier when the Eagles put this out yesterday to break it down even further. 2 number 1s this year, a number 2, two number 3s, a number 4, 3 number 5 picks. Sounds like an order at McDonald's. And then a 7th round pick as well in just this draft. Let's just count it up for you, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 picks in this upcoming draft, and that still includes 2 first-round picks. Now, you're probably saying, as loyal listeners and followers of this program, Mark, you nailed it. That's probably what you're saying. Because I have told you throughout this entire process, just to sound even snootier, that the Eagles are not taking 3 players in the first round of the upcoming NFL draft, which is starting later this month. The Eagles are no way, shape, or form doing that. I wanted to do it, spend it all on defense. I know a lot of people were on the same path as I was, but that wasn't going to be the play that Howie Roseman was going to make. The play Howie Roseman was going to make was hedging bets. And quite frankly, as I put out on Twitter yesterday, this was the smart play from Howie, both financially speaking, when it comes to not taking 3 first-rounders, for instance, and when you think about what could go on next year with the potential financial ramifications of what the Eagles decided to do. More specifically, here's what I mean. It all comes down to what Jalen Hurts is competing against. And it's not so much the fact that it's Jalen Hurts. I want to just use this. Forget the fact that it's even Jalen Hurts. Like, let's just think about this. young quarterback that hasn't 100% proven himself yet. And that's what Jalen Hurts is. I haven't talked to one person, even one person that is the bandwagon fan of Jalen Hurts. He could do no wrong. This guy's incredible. I haven't even talked to that person today or over the last couple of months that have come out and said, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the future. He is the franchise quarterback. I would give him a 10-year contract right now because I'm that sold that the Eagles will not do better than what Jalen Hurts is. Okay, so if you don't have if you're not convinced that you have the franchise guy going forward, then you got nothing. You have a maybe. And with a maybe, you got nothing. So here's where it works. Let's just say that you have this guy, a young up-and-comer that needs to prove himself, okay? And if he doesn't, here's the pain in the ass of this. He's not only competing like he did last year with the potential of 3 first-round picks, which eventually happened, which now has not. He's still competing with 2 first-round picks, which is still a lot. He's got to do that again next year. So the reason I was thinking Howie and the smart play would be for Howie to hedge his bets and still get 2 first-round picks next year, have the opportunity to maybe get even another one with whatever wheeling and dealing he could do next year, because he's going to have another two first-round picks as well. So another 2 second-round picks as well as 2 first-round picks. Howie can still move up and get whatever quarterback he would want to get in next year's draft that is supposed to be a much deeper NFL quarterback draft class. So it's not just the picks that Jalen Hurts is going to be competing against. It's not just the other teams, obviously. It's also the finances that go into it. Because what we have seen with some of and the Rams tried to do this when they had Jared Goff. The teams will load up while they don't have to pay that young quarterback just yet. And the money they're saving by getting top-tier talent at the quarterback position but not having to pay top dollar for it, the money they save from doing that, they're spending in other areas. So even if Jalen Hurts is due for a contract next year, and if that's going to be a big deal or not, it's still going to be in the Eagles' favor to save some money. Now, it's up to Jalen Hurts to go out next year. And as I have said time and time again, Jalen Hurts is the type of human being I want as my quarterback. I find it so unbelievably easy to root for this guy. It's going to matter, though, more so about what type of quarterback he is in the Eagles' eyes and ultimately the city of Philadelphia's eyes. So if he doesn't go out there and earn that franchise deal, and it's going to be very difficult for him to take that big of a leap to do so. But if he doesn't go out there and do that, then we're looking at another offseason of, well, is Jalen Hurts the guy? Probably not, but maybe. But they have these picks, and they don't want to pay him. And then Jalen Hurts still up against it, folks. That's the bottom line of all of this. Now, you might say he's an NFL quarterback. He should always be up against it. Guys should always be feel like they're fighting for their jobs. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They should. But don't you also want to feel like you already have the franchise quarterback for the next 10 years in Philadelphia? Because I don't think anybody feels like that right now. As much as they like him, like me, love Jalen Hurts. If they're saying, okay, here's a 10-year contract, you want to give that to Jalen Hurts? I'm like, no. I don't know. Like, this year is going to be the biggest year. And listening to, as I've said many times, listening to the stories about how he's going out there, Southern California, working with Tom House, allegedly, to try to improve his accuracy, his throwing motion, and all that, and being on the same page with the Eagles, unlike that Carson Wentz character was. That's all stuff that will work itself out. And that's all stuff that's great. And I love it. But it's a matter of hearing it and watching it go and become the franchise guy that I want him to be. I'm rooting for him. I'm not betting on it, especially when it comes to a move like this. You're not doing this move unless you feel like, if you feel like you have a franchise guy, I don't think you're flipping picks to next year. It's possible still, so they don't have to pay 3 first-round picks, sure. But you also move back in the draft a little bit to try to get more players to plug into the holes that you have on this team. I think the Eagles still are going to go defensively. D-Gunn will give us his take on the situation. Some people might be excited to hear about an offensive move they could make in this draft that I know a lot of people don't really think Howie Roseman has been so great at drafting this particular position. I all but said it. But looking at this draft, I think the Eagles still go defensive heavy. And I think they need to go defensive heavy in this draft. But when I saw this, my first reaction was, good move by Howie. Well, my first reaction was, they made a move. Howie traded picks. Idiot. And then I was like, well, let me just look at that one more time, because that was a lot of words and numbers there by Shefty. And then I showed you the thing from Eagles Nation. I went, okay, but the Eagles did that. And then they're back. And then it's a pretty good trade. And then 10 picks in this draft. And then God knows how many you're going to have next year by the time it's all said and done. But still, bottom line, 2 first-round picks. That's a nice trade. Now we root against the Saints. Now we root hard against the Saints. Like we were rooting for the Dolphins to suck last year. Now we're rooting for the Saints to suck something terrible next year. And that shouldn't be that hard. To be honest with you, it shouldn't be that hard. I look forward to it. Crossing my fingers it happens, and I think that's something that will come to fruition. This one, look, Howie Roseman does a phenomenal job with trades. He does a great job, I think, with signing free agents as well. It's the talent evaluation. And if even the biggest Howie hater that Howie can do no right, for instance, you have to look at this deal and you have to think, well, here's something positive. Howie now does not have 3 first-round picks to blow this year. He only has 2. So that's good, right? Even though, think of it like that, optimistically. That's one less guy you have to worry about sucking at the NFL level. But when it comes to these picks that the Eagles have now, and one more time for you, 15 and 18 is where they will be selecting in the upcoming draft. I still very much see them go defensive first, and then I see them addressing the offense. And then I think in the second round, you'll see some more defense. Third round, probably some defense. Fourth round, you'll probably see an offensive lineman in that spot. And then in the fifth round, I don't know, maybe they'll trade 2 of those to move back into the fourth or something like that. But that's where the wheeling and dealing will start. So let's root against the Saints. Please join me in loving every other team in the NFC South not named the New Orleans Saints. And hey, how about Tom Brady coming back? How about that? By the way, one more thing. I want to talk about this real quick with Todd Bowles as the new head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers while we're talking about the NFC South. And believe me, there's not going to be many opportunities in the next couple of months to talk about the NFC South. In the next maybe 6 months when we're back into the NFL season and we're talking about where that pick's going to lie with the Saints, then we'll be talking a lot about the NFC South. But I got to say this. Bruce Arians has done a phenomenal job of hiring minorities. Like there's a problem in the NFL. And I think there's a problem in the world where people just, I'm more comfortable with you. I look like you and you look like me. So we're going to work together. And I think that happens a lot. It's unfortunate, but I think it happens a lot. I love the idea of Bruce Arians just being like, the whole league has a problem. I don't. Let me continue to solve this problem for you dumb SOBs. I'm out. Todd Bowles, you're hired. I'm moving to the front office. Like, there's just something about Bruce Arians doing that I just find awesome. And I think we need a lot more of Bruce Arians in the world throughout every sport. And Pete Carroll coming out and attacking the owners yesterday, saying, look, we need to make this a better sport for everybody to be able to partake in, I think is brilliant as well. That's something that needed to be said. And I had said it. When we talk about GMs hiring coaches that are minorities and hiring women on the coaching staff and all that, it's not going to change until the owners change. Like everyone wants to beat up on general managers. It's like, okay, well, how about the entire NFL? How about the people literally are called owners? If that's more diverse, everything else is going to be more diverse. And then guess what? We live in a better world. So let's do that. So Bruce Arians, just want to tip my cap to you for a second there. And I also want to tip my cap one more time to that Tom Brady fella who is now going to make life a lot easier on us to watch the Saints suck by hopefully beating them twice next year, as well as every other team. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a good time. We're all going to have a lot of fun. So credit to Howie Roseman. I like the deal, approve the deal. Now it's up to him to go out there and not waste it. A couple other things I saw yesterday. Was fantastic. I don't know if you guys saw this. In The Athletic, they did a story involving former 76ers assistant coach, Billy Lang. And he talked about Joel Embiid. And this is, I think, a phenomenal story. And if you didn't see this, you can read it right there. Joel Embiid apparently rolled up on Lang's kids. And he was talking to him about video games. And this is the story. He has a backpack with him, and he says to his boys, Billy Lang's boys, you guys want to play video games? And he takes out his PlayStation. And this is according to Billy Lang. When I say he pummeled my kids, there was no mercy. I think he won Madden 98-6. Then he goes on to say, he goes on to play NBA 2K. He was beating my kids by 200 points. He was unrelenting. And he was talking smack. Can't guard me. Can't stop me. You can't get a stop. That's the energy I want. That's the energy I want from Joel Embiid for the rest of this season. I know things are winding down. They got the Pacers. They're not facing playoff teams, whatever. They already faced them, winding down. Keep this energy. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, "Do you have, do you expect Joel Embiid to win the MVP?" And I said, "I don't. I think he should, but I think ultimately he's not going to win it. I think even a night where he drops 44 points and 17 rebounds and 5 blocks, and even with the stats that I gave you guys yesterday, talking about Moses Malone and Russell Westbrook going out there and getting 40-point, 10-rebound games, 11 of those types of games throughout the year. Everybody else who has gotten those games, those two players, they were both MVP that year. So maybe that'll be the feather in the cap. But ultimately, the reason I think Joel Embiid is the most valuable player is the same reason that Joker got it last year, is because he showed that he was the most valuable to his team and his team had done well. Okay. Joel Embiid, you want to talk about value? You don't want to talk about best. Like Joker to me wasn't the best player last year. He was the most valuable player last year. And that might be the most ultimate, even for a bald guy, splitting hairs you'll ever hear. But basically, Joel Embiid couldn't have been that valuable if he missed that many games and the Sixers were still a 1 seed. Like that was, I think, the overriding argument on the national scene. This year is the exact opposite of that. Joel Embiid missed some games, sure. But ultimately, think about all the turmoil that went on throughout this season. Has Tobias Harris been himself? No. Has Tyrese Maxey had to grow throughout the season? Yes, tremendously, I might add. And Ben Simmons, a 3-time All-Star point guard, if you will, runner-up Defensive Player of the Year, did not play. Now he won't play all year, according to the Nets. Most likely going to miss play-in tournament as well. But Joel Embiid goes out there in all this turmoil, most notably the Ben Simmons saga, and balls out and keeps this team in the playoffs. Got this team, although it was for a heartbeat only, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They were in first place for a blink of an eye. And even right now, as we stand, 2.5 games out of first place? That's pretty damn good. And now only recently got James Harden. And everyone who knows basketball knows that it is going to take a minute before the chemistry on this team does really come together long term. But if that's not the most valuable player right there, to keep this team not just as a playoff team, not just maybe a chance at a play-in, but to keep this team in a top 5 team in their conference, if that's not most valuable, I don't know what is. To me, Joel Embiid is the MVP of the NBA, and it's because of the adversity that he had to overcome this year. Whether it was Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris struggles, Tyrese Maxey being thrown into the starting lineup all of a sudden and having to perform at the level that he eventually would get to and then start to sputter a little bit. But all of that, all consistent, all valuable, all the time was Joel Embiid to his team. I don't know what's more valuable than that. Now other people are talking about Giannis being in the mix. And it's like, well, Giannis can always be in the mix. What the hell? Like, that's not breaking news. And I look at it from every angle. If you're talking about most valuable to their team, I look at Embiid, I look at Giannis, and then I look at Joker. Because Denver ain't winning anything anytime soon. Obviously, the Bucks, they could win at the drop of a hat any year, it seems like, with Giannis. And Joel Embiid, I think, is the guy that needs to prove himself and get that hardware. And I think this should be the year that he gets it. I just don't think the national people that watch this and follow this, I think they're just going to look at bottom lines, and the bottom line will be to them. Joker has already won. You really got to beat the man to be the man. They will look at the fact that Joel Embiid got tired in the game that he went up against Joker. Oh, it was a back-to-back. Oh, so he can't play back-to-back? So, yeah, he's real valuable. That's how the national pundits will look at it. But for me, I think he's the man. I think he is the MVP of the NBA, and I hope he gets that hardware. And I know we're all pulling for him. I just don't think that they'll give it to him. Those bastards. Sixers take on the Pacers, by the way. I'm hoping Joel Embiid just goes bonkers for the rest of the year. 40-point games, 50-point games. Just keep that scoring average up. He's like a 1/10 of a point behind LeBron right now. So LeBron James. So let's hope Let's hope he can overtake him in the last couple of games of the season to at least get that top spot in the scoring title, at least. And we'll see how that goes. Pete, I see you. Yes, I am. I am furious. What else did I have for you? I had something for you. I'll get to it in our morning rush. It'll come to me. I thought I wrote it down, but I'm a big fat idiot, folks. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about the great people of the amazing people of Destination Retirement. My man, Mike Seibert. Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you aren't thinking of retirement right now, but start thinking about retirement. And if you just want to put the quarter in the machine to figure out what you need to do with retirement, check out destinationretirement.com or email my man, Mike Seibert. Very easy email to remember. Go Birds at 1847financial.com. That's Go Birds at the number 1847financial.com. Start thinking about retirement. It's never too early. Mike Seibert is a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC, a partner of 1847 Financial, and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only. Maybe next year, Flyers. When it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up current enjoyment of your income now? Why are you doing that? The answer is to have an income stream in retirement. It only makes sense then to understand how retirement income streams work so that you can have direct savings in ways that give you the best and highest income when you retire. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Is the objective just to get to the top? No, you want to eventually make your way down safely. That is retirement and prepping for retirement. These are two different phases of life, and each should be addressed separately. When you're talking about climbing that mountain, when you're climbing, that's your accumulation years right there. When you're going down the mountain, that's your distribution years. Talk to Mike Seibert about it all. This month, let's talk about college planning. When we all know, right now you got some young kids, you want to save for retirement, you want to save for college as well. We all know college is expensive. Have you ever thought about how it'll affect your retirement? Let Mike show you how an efficient way to help pay for your kids' college and still retire on your terms. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Your first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over by depleting accounts like 592s or for your big expenses like college. So don't do that. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and have to start all over again. Of course, you don't want to do that. You can't get that time back. Instead, get yourself up to speed with the ability to use vehicles that can make you money, and also they can also take money out without starting your growth cycle over again. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings, and then your annual college savings can help your retirement savings. Mike will set all this up for you and set up a portal for you in Retirement Analyzer. Then use the software to help you navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him again at gobirds@1847financial.com or call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds and play the song. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. You've heard me talking about his gold dip rose, gold dipped in 24 karat gold. These beautiful roses are just outstanding, sparkling. They are gorgeous, just like everything at Steven Singer Jewelers, all the inventory. But this year, how about this? The beautiful creamsicle rose. So gorgeous, so lovely. Do yourself a favor. Log on to IHateStevenSinger.com right now. That's IHateStevenSinger.com right now. Check out the amazing, beautiful creamsicle gold dip rose. It is outstanding. Mom will love it for Mother's Day. Get it for anybody in your life. Grandma, whoever it might be. Your mother-in-law, it's gorgeous. They'll love it. Creamsicle rose. Lifetime guarantee, and it's a rose that will last forever, obviously. So do what I do when it comes to all your big jewelry purchases, when it comes to Mother's Day, when it comes to anniversaries, when it comes to Valentine's Day. I always check out Steven Singer to see what the latest rose is that he has in stock. And this one is the creamsicle rose. It is gorgeous. So stop by the other corner of 8th and Walnut or IHateStevenSinger.com. Always remember, fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. IHateStevenSinger.com. The other corner of 8th and Walnut at Steven Singer Jewelers. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to dissect this Eagles trade a little bit further, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, talk to our good friend D-Gunn about all things Eagles and first-round pick swaps. Good times with D-Gunn right here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You know, you guys should really see the show before the show whenever we have this guest on. You know him, you love him. His name's D-Gunn, Gun on One podcast, Jacob Media. He's all over the place, basically. Gunner, how are you, friend?
Good, man. How you been?
I've been crying. I missed you so damn much. We had the post-game show throughout the Eagles season. I'm still waiting for you to say, hey, when do you want to go fishing? And, like, that never happens. But it's just good to see you. You look amazing.
Likewise, man. You know, about the fishing thing, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, dude. I'm just letting you know now. I'm just telling you, look, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything.
Right. Okay. All right.
Only if we're at a body of water where we could have at least 50 yards between us. At least 50. I just have this reoccurring nightmare that you attempt to cast and hook me in the back of the head or something like that. I can't afford to be down and out, man. I got to work.
Gunner, I'm gonna let you know something. I'm gonna see into the future. Okay. I'm gonna see into the future. You and I are in the same boat. You and I are gonna be physically not a ship. It's not gonna be a cruise. It's gonna be a rowboat, most likely. And that's what we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna hang out, the two of us, have some good times.
Not with rods and reels, man. You're not getting that close to me with a rod and reel.
No, I'm gonna bring my travel espresso maker, and we're just gonna sip espresso, and that's all. We're gonna have a subject.
No, dude, no, I had one of your espressos. You almost killed me, man. My heart was racing for about a half hour, man. I thought this is it. I'm coming to see you, Lord. This is the big one.
Let's go. All right, hold on.
I thought I was having a Fred Sanford moment for a minute, man.
We're gonna peel the curtain back just for one more second.
What?
It was right before a taping of Quick Slants.
Yeah,
I remember this. And I looked down, and you have your papers, and you're like this, and you're like,
thanks to you,
like this. And I go, oh damn, how's that espresso? And you're like, damn, man.
I sounded like Sylvester and Tweety. No, what did you put in this thing? Try to sabotage my show.
This is the stuff that normally happens before I hit record, and then anyway. Yeah. So this is D-Gunn, everybody. Hey Gunner, the Eagles did something.
What is wrong with you, man?
I don't know, but this is what they did. They made a trade. I like the deal. I know there's a bunch of people out there that just hate Howie Roseman. I don't see how you hate this deal. To me, I like the deal. I told the audience I like the deal. Gunner, where are you on the deal?
I like the deal also because now it extends his draft capital for the next 3 drafts from now until 2024. It's funny. On my latest edition of Gun on One, the podcast, I had Sal Palantonio on from ESPN. And one of the many topics Sal brought up was the fact that he didn't believe the Eagles were going to use all 3 draft picks this year. He felt they would try to slide one back to another year just in case they have to draft a quarterback. And lo and behold, sure enough, that's exactly what they did. And when I heard Sal talk about it, I was inclined to agree with him more and more. It makes more sense. And then Sal brought up about a point where Howie was talking down at the owners' meetings about you don't want to draft too many players too high and they're not able to play. And I said, that makes a lot of sense. You're drafting these first-round picks, and all of a sudden you have to make a definitive decision on them if they're sitting behind guys that are still under rookie contracts or you've now given extensions to. So it makes sense to draft strategically for exactly what you think you need now, where you can plug and play these young guys right now, and then continue to chain in 2023, 2024. Now, here's the thing for me. Let's say, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, I hope Jalen Hurts improves 150% for 2022. But let's say he plays very similar to what he did in 2021, which to me was mediocre. He had his great moments. He had a lot of not so great moments. So he was mediocre for me for the most part in the season. All right. The Eagles could still win the division in spite of Jalen Hurts' performance. And if that is the case, you have the draft capital now to look at the quarterback situation again in 2023, because I really don't think there's a standout quarterback in this draft class for 2022. So why force the issue and draft a quarterback this year? You, Mark, you know this as well as anybody, and I've said this multiple times on a variety of platforms. Jalen Hurts was going to be an Eagles quarterback in 2022. Jeffrey Lurie's come out and said it. Nick Sirianni's come out and said it. Howie Roseman has come out and said it. What more confirmation do you need? And I think that's only fair. Now, I know a lot of people are down on Jalen Hurts. They talk about his lack of arm strength and his ability to read defenses. But he's only been in Nick Sirianni's system one year. So you got to give the kid another year. And I still think, even with Jalen Hurts at the helm of this offense in 2022, I still think this team has a chance to win the division. When you look at, there's really no clear-cut winner. Amari Cooper is no longer in Dallas. Cedric Wilson has gone from Dallas. They lost Lyle Collins as well. Carson Wentz is quarterback in Washington. How's that going to work out? I can't wait to see that one.
Well, good for us. Good for Philadelphia.
That's my point. And the Giants are still the Giants. They're a mess. They're in a new direction. I do think the coach is a good coach, and I do think he's going to turn it around. But I don't know if he's got the personnel to turn it around in 2022. So the Eagles could win a division in spite of Jalen Hurts' performance. Okay? Right. Which means now you have the draft capital again. You win a division, you get these young guys another year of playoff experience, and you go back in the draft in 2023. And if that class is stronger as we're anticipating, that's where you try to nab your quarterback.
I could not agree more. I had been talking about this on this show. I think I made the prediction that Howie was going to hedge his bets when the report came out about the Eagles being after Russell Wilson, and then they didn't get Russell Wilson, and then obviously Aaron Rodgers was never going to come here, I don't think, because you know why. And then other reasons, I think that you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and you say they're going to stand pat right now with their quarterback, hedge their bets for next year. Now, what did you make of the words of Nick Sirianni at the owners' meetings when he talked about Jalen Hurts being in Southern California working on his stuff? He said he didn't want to out him as to who he was working with, but we all know that means Tom House. So he's working with a guy that Tom Brady has worked with. What do you make of Jalen Hurts' offseason regimen and how in tune the team is with that offseason regimen?
Well, if it's the person we assume it is, he's working with one of the best in the business in terms of working with quarterbacks. He's exactly where he should be right now. Jalen Hurts really doesn't have much leeway this offseason. If he is going to make a name for himself, if he's going to win over these fans in Philadelphia, he needs to be working on his craft every day. And it's not the big thing, not just the big things, it's the little things as well. So, the fact that the Eagles are investing in him to get better, Nick Sirianni is investing in him to get better. They're hoping that indeed he does get better as a quote-unquote NFL quarterback in 2022. So they're doing everything possible to improve his skills. Whatever the Eagles deem his weaknesses are, they're doing everything possible to improve those deficiencies and make him that much better in 2022. Plus, now that he will be another year into Nick Sirianni's system, Sirianni will have a better understanding of what exactly Jalen Hurts can do and cannot do. He'll streamline their playbook even more for Jalen Hurts to suit his strengths more so than exploit his weaknesses.
I assume you're in the same boat as I am, figuratively speaking, this time. When it comes to Jalen Hurts, as far as it's hard to bet against a guy with a work ethic as good as his?
First of all, let's get the word boat out of the vocabulary. You keep talking about the word boat. We're not getting in the same boat. Okay.
You and I are the same thought process.
We are of one accord. We are of the same mind right now. So yes, Jalen Hurts. I don't know if his arm strength will get that much better than what it already is, but you can still be a winner in the NFL with not being able to throw the ball a country mile. A lot of teams dink and dunk their way down the field if you have the right personnel surrounding them. He's fine in the intermediate game. He just needs more accuracy. He just needs to read defenses a little bit better. He can't be missing guys in wide open spaces. Those are some of the things that he's hopefully working on out in Southern California. So the fact that, people are down on him because he can't throw the ball, 60, 70 yards on a dime consistently, so what? You would like to have that attribute in this game, but if it doesn't exist consistently, then again, it goes back to what I said a few moments ago. Then Nick Sirianni as a head coach says, okay, we will still take our shots just to make a defense play a little bit more honest, but we really can chew people up in the intermediate game, 15, 20 yards here and there, and still be a very successful offense.
I'm with you 100% there. So let's see if we're on the same accord with this. When you look at a guy like Nick Foles, okay?
Right.
I have said Nick Foles didn't have like upper echelon arm strength, but he could dot the I down the field. For me, with Jalen Hurts, I think he can make the throw physically, put it in the vicinity of, but he can't dot the I. So going into next season, I think if Jalen Hurts' arm strength stays the same, but his accuracy jumps up a lot of notches, then I think we're talking about a quarterback we can invest in for the future. Where are you on that?
I don't know if invest for the future is the accurate word, but I do think the product will be that much better if he can dot the I.
Okay.
And he's got to get sharper in that regard. He's on a smaller side when you look at the quarterbacks nowadays. He's not the tallest quarterback out there. I think he's a great athlete playing quarterback right now. Now you want to refine his skills to make him a much better quarterback. And hopefully that's exactly what is going to happen for this team and for Jalen in particular in 2022. We sit here as lounge chair quarterbacks trying to critique Jalen Hurts, but we don't know exactly what the Eagles organization thinks of Jalen Hurts. Do they think he has a long-term future with this organization? Do they think he's just a quick stop, a holdover until they get something that they like in 2023 or 2024 for that matter? We really don't know what the coaching staff really thinks of him right now. So basically all we can do is speculate on what we believe could happen for this young man this year and beyond.
How would you like to be Jalen Hurts where you were waiting to see if the Eagles would get 2 first-round picks? They've had two first-round picks. The Carson Wentz pick becomes a first-round pick. So now you're Jalen Hurts and you're competing against those 3 first-round picks, right?
Right.
And now you still got another 2 first-round picks to compete with again next year.
Right.
Will he do the same thing he did last year, say he's above it all? Because there's no Deshaun Watson. There's no imminent trade where Deshaun Watson's definitely going to trade it at some point. Just a matter of where it's going to be. It's a matter of that draft and that draft capital and the Saints and how bad they're playing with that hanging over his head yet again. Can he take that same pressure 2 years in a row?
Well, Deshaun Watson's in Cleveland now. The man got $200 million.
Right.
To go to Cleveland. But in terms of Jalen Hurts, I think that particular storm is behind him for the moment. What he had to go through in terms of just listening to all the rumors out there about the Deshaun Watsons. Then they bring in a Gardner Minshew. And even as the season wore on, people were indifferent about Jalen Hurts all throughout the season, and most of it rightfully so because of his play. Right now, everybody in this organization has made that commitment to him. There is no quarterback in the draft that's going to come in here and upseat him in 2022. There is no quarterback on the open market right now that's got the Eagles salivating that's going to come in here and just take the job from Jalen Hurts. He fully understands this is his job to win or lose, to hold on to, or to give to somebody else. So I think that part of the pressure is off Jalen Hurts for now. The pressure that's on him now is to show this organization, the fan base, and let's face it, he's auditioning in the NFL. Every time he steps on that field, he's auditioning in the NFL. So he's showing 31 other teams that he can play the game at this level, at an effective level as well. So those are the pressures he's facing right now. But those are also the same pressures every young quarterback faces in the National Football League. And I think he is beyond his years in terms of maturity in how he handled that situation in 2021. So 2022 basically is academic for him.
I'm with you there. So I have to ask you this, obviously, with the draft coming up later this month.
Right.
Eagles still have 2 first-round picks in this draft coming up. What are they doing with those first 2 first-round picks, my friend?
I still think they need to address the defense first and foremost. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after a receiver for the 3rd year in a row, considering how high they're drafting this year. They do need another pass catcher. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., I don't see the Eagles spending big money to get the likes of those kind of receivers in here. They already got, a decent receiver from the Colts coming in here. I don't think he's the answer to their passing game overall, but, he has a history with Nick Sirianni, so he understands what Nick Sirianni wants. He's a decent receiver, but he's not a game changer, game breaker. I do think they need a bigger body, a body in the slot, a quality slot receiver for Jalen as a safety valve and to make those catches. As we know, a lot of these big body receivers now can make a bad pass from a quarterback look spectacular with their catches. And I think that's what the Eagles need. I'm not saying they've given up on Quez Watkins yet because they haven't. He's still raw and he's still evolving as a young receiver in the National Football League. But you continue to add to the equation in this passing game that we've come to watch over the last 10 years or so in the National Football League. But I'm still saying they still need to address the cornerback situation. They need to find themselves a future cornerback to complement Darius Slay. And I still think they either need to find another linebacker or another edge rusher. You can't have enough edge rushers in a game of football. So those are the things I think the Eagles need to address. To me, defense first more so than anything else.
So what about DK Metcalf?
What are you going to pay him? You bring him here. What are you going to pay him?
I give a first rounder. I give a first rounder for him.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you I don't see the Eagles paying that kind of money for a wide receiver.
I don't really either, but that's why I don't make decisions.
I just really don't see him have. Hey, you get a DK Metcalf in the system.
Yeah.
That's a game changer right there. That man's physical. He can play inside. He can play outside as well, and he can get separation in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
This fan base would love to see a DK Metcalf in an Eagles uniform.
What would you pay for him? If you wanted him, do you want him? Well, you said he's good, so yeah. But what would you pay for him?
I'd want him, but if the Eagles are continuing to build with youth, then you may break the bank trying to pay this guy. Obviously he's worth the first round pick, to give up, but depends on how much more Seattle would want for him.
Right. Okay.
To me, that's where you pump the brakes, and because we don't know that, I couldn't even begin to give you an accurate description of what he's worth. Because he's worth something different to every team that would pursue him. There's some teams that have, they don't care about, draft picks, they'll follow that so-called New England Patriots, now Rams blueprint. We don't care about picks. We want proven commodities in here that can help us get over the hump. Some teams are going to stick to their guns and say, we're not giving up. It's a rarity that we have this kind of draft capital. We're not going to give this up. We're going to continue to build through the draft, and hopefully we get it right. So it's a DK Metcalf is something different in each and every team that's even considering adding him to their roster.
A couple of things for you. First off, I just want to make it clear that you are worth a lot more than what I pay you to come on this show. I just want to let you know that. So just get that out of the way.
Yeah, a bag of hot chips ain't cutting it, brother. I'm telling you right now. I'm just letting you know now.
Derek Gunn, my dear friend.
Yes,
usually I try to clear these questions with people before I ask them, but because I know you're a chameleon. You're a man for all seasons. I feel like I can just go ahead and throw you the Fast Five. Do you want to play Fast Five?
When you look at me and call me a chameleon, basically, I take that as I'm a man in hiding. I'm always hiding from somebody, especially in my house.
Yeah.
When my wife screams my name, it means she wants me to do something I'm trying to hide. If one of the kids call me, it means they want something from me, so I'm trying to hide. If the dogs are barking too loud, that means they either want me to let them out or feed them, so I'm trying to hide as well. So I try to blend into the scenery wherever I am.
Not to be too personal on a work call that you and I are on right now, but my daughter now says whenever she needs me, she's 2.5. Whenever Emmanuel needs me, she's now taken my wife's word, which is babe.
There you go.
Literally, my daughter said to me 2 nights ago, the batteries in her Minnie Mouse nightlight went out.
Yes.
She yells down the stairs to me as I'm watching the Sixers, babe, Minnie need batteries.
You know what that means? She's got you right here.
She's got me.
This is it right here. That's
wrapped
it, brother.
Around, my friend. Wrapped
That's
around.
It, brother. I'm telling you.
All right. You want to play Fast Five?
Let's give it a try. Let's show you how smart I'm not.
Let's bring in the band. Fellas? Okay, thank you. There we go. We got the band playing. Here we go. Derek Gunn, Fast Five. Best job before you were in media. Best job before you were in media.
Oh, geez. I was working at a place called Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor when I was a teenager. I went from being a dishwasher to a cook to being a server. And that lasted about 6 or 7 months, but it was a fun job. There was a bunch of your teenagers working there. We had to sing these stupid songs when people had birthdays and stuff like that. I still remember the song, and my wife was like,
What was the song? What was the song?
The song was called, let's see. We'd have to take out, when people would order this sandwich called the Gastro, you really want me to sing this song?
I would love for you to. Hold on. Guys,
what?
cut. There we go. All right, the band's down. Ladies and gentlemen, the music stylings of Derek Gunn.
From the land of Epicurean comes some sandwich fit for kings, made with meats and cheeses and lots of juicy things. It's gastrically delightful. You'll think of it all night. It's the gastronomical delicatessen, Epicurean's delight. Yeah.
Oh, my.
It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing, man.
Gracious.
That's embarrassing.
That beat the hell out of the Chili's birthday song I used to get when I used to go to, not Chili's, Chi-Chi's, the celebration of food. That place had a great boom, boom, boom birthday song, but that takes the taco, pal. Let's bring the band back.
I would only do that for you.
All right, now I'm definitely sending you a check. All right, first, second. All right, next question. Go-to fast food place. Go-to fast food place for Derek Gunn.
Woo! Wow.
I'm a journalist.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Go-to fast food place. Man, I'm gonna say Rivera's Tacos. Down here where I live. Yes, not too far from where I live. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say that. Matter of fact, I was just there with my wife a couple hours ago.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, your wife's an amazing person.
Yes, she is.
When you guys were dating or in your dating days, what was a first date deal breaker for Derek Gunn? Rude to the wait staff, talk too much, whatever. What would be a first date deal breaker for the young and very single Derek Gunn?
You know, with her, there was really no deal breakers. But what would happen was when she was going to school, she was also working a job as a waitress. So when we would go out to a movie, half the time she'd fall asleep in a movie, and I'm like, "What in the world is going on here?" She'd fall asleep a lot. You know, she still falls asleep a lot. Wherever.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
I can't think of a deal breaker, but I'll say if there was one, that might have been it.
Just follow. It's like, I'm
I'm
sorry,
like, hey, I'm paying good money for this movie and popcorn. What are you doing here? Hey, wake up!
Wait, this is my money.
Yeah,
all right.
money.
Oh, you've been all over the world. You've been all over the country. Favorite city to travel to, Derek Gunn?
San Diego. I love San Diego. I lived there.
Best.
I lived there. I worked for NBC out there many years ago. And like a dummy, I left there. You know, but I definitely San Diego is at the top of my list.
Oh God, I love Derek. I absolutely love San Diego. And then finally, I'm curious for this answer.
Here we go.
What makes Derek Gunn honk his horn in traffic?
People who cut you off. Drives me nuts. People who cut you off.
That's good.
It just blows me away. People that do that.
You know, here's what's good about that. You're a good person because literally to do that, your life has to be in danger.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to honk your horn, your life has to be threatened.
Yes.
Me, I'll give you our good friend Taryn Hatcher's line.
Okay.
And I'm along these lines. Any minor inconvenience.
What?
Oh yeah, I'm not a good guy, man.
Yeah, I'm a patient driver. I'm not one of these guys that, you know, just want to run over everybody and, you know, get from point A to point B in a hurry. You know, there's times when I'm in a hurry, but for the most part, I'm a pretty patient driver.
Yeah, not me, my friend. That's the Midwest in you.
It is.
I am only from this part of the United States, man. It's now, baby. It's now.
You people are bitter on the East Coast, man. I mean, from Boston to DC, you people are bitter, man. I mean, see, us people in the Midwest, we're just good old country folk, man. We love to talk to everybody. You know, we take life a little bit slower than you guys do, man.
You certainly do.
You guys are heart attacks in waiting, man. You know, it's like everything's serious with you people, man. I've learned how to adapt in 25 years to the East Coast, man.
Yeah, we are definitely a different breed. That's what I've learned in my own travels.
Right.
Derek, if you guys aren't listening to Gun on One, well, what are you doing with your life? You got to listen to Gun on One with my man Derek Gunn. Follow him on social media. You know him, you love him. Our good friend on the Roth and Orthopedics guest line, Derek Gunn. Gunner, thank you so much.
Always for you, brother. Thank you.
You're the man. See you, bud. I honestly felt like after Gunner got done singing his song that I was just like, there was no show. Like I should have just rapped. Like there's no topping his answer to the first question of Fast Five. There's no topping that. The singing the song, the birthday song for the restaurant he worked at as a kid. I know you guys went bonkers for it. I screen grabbed the comments immediately following that, and I'm sending to Gunner at an appropriate hour. That was amazing, wasn't it? You know, it's funny. Gunner and I said it once, so I told the story to my daughter during the interview. But like, I've watched talk show hosts growing up interview their friends, and a lot of times it's way too inside or it's way too personal. I have to really be careful when I interview Gunner for those reasons, for a bunch of reasons, but mainly that reason that it's sometimes going to be too personal. But he said he'd only sing that song for me, and he did it. And he just did it, just drop of a hat right there. And I know that sparked a conversation about Chi-Chi's let me just get this out of the way because I don't want to be canceled. And I feel like I'd be canceled like Chi-Chi's if I ever spoke ill of Chi-Chi's. I want you guys to know something. April, Alyssa, I saw you guys first to this. Every birthday I had as a kid, my brother and I had our restaurants. My brother, I'll tell you that in a second. But me, I always wanted to go to Chi-Chi's. I have crushed nachos my entire life. I try to have nachos at every meal. I love Chi-Chi's, and I love fajitas. I love burritos. I love tacos. I love chips and salsa. I love the fried ice cream they used to give you. And I'm like, how the hell do you fry ice cream? That sounds impossible. But fried ice cream is delicious. And then they would come out, and on our birthdays, my brother would get to go to his restaurant. I get to go to my restaurant. My restaurant was Chi-Chi's. I would get the salsa immediately. I'd get my own little thing of salsa, get my own little thing of chips. Happy birthday to me. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was king of the world, baby. And then they'd come out with the birthday song, and every time I'd act surprised, no way. And they'd give you the sombrero. I still have the sombrero, I think. I got to see my mom if she still has it or not. I still got the birthday sombrero, and they'd come out like, Chi-Chi's, boom, boom. That's all I remember. Chi-Chi's, boom, boom, boom. Happy birthday. And it was the greatest thing ever. And then my brother's birthday, he always wanted to go to Red Lobster. So he'd go to Red Lobster for the fish drenched in butter, which I'm not complaining about. But it wasn't Chi-Chi's. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. There you go. My thanks to Derek Gunn joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Just happened to glance down. Cody. Farzy, you seem like a Chi-Chi's guy. Not a compliment. That's what he says. You seem like a Chi-Chi's guy. Love you, Farzy, but not a compliment. No worries. No worries. Let me tell you about the great people at Rothman Orthopedics, ladies and gentlemen. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. That's RothmanOrtho.com. How about the people of WinView? Challenge a friend or family member to the WinView contests that they have. Download the WinView app right now. Remember, it's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the biggest sports fan and who knows more about sports? Challenge a friend or family member to something about sports. Make a prediction on the game that you love and make us some money on that prediction. That's what you can do with the WinView app. So make sure you do so. And how about our friends at PHL Sports Nation? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's jump into the chat check. Good golly, a lot going on today. Appreciate all you fine people. One Guapo! Good to see you, Guapo. Where you been? Sean, what's popping? Kevin, what's going on? Mally, what's popping? John Cheeseborough, what's up, buddy? Bright and early for you today, my friend. Kev, Sean, everyone's saying hello to each other. It's beautiful. It's always warms my heart to see this. Some people they'd say they should have waited until draft day to do this, to do the deal. Thought they could have gotten more. I said, no, they probably couldn't. Deals like this, like to this extent, don't really happen draft day. Nothing jumped to mind when this happened. No example. But when you think about just the Eagles trading up to get Carson Wentz, the Eagles, remember, there was a series of moves. It was 13-8-2. So they haven't really moved up in this draft, obviously. They did this, not for this draft per se, but they did do this for next year's draft. We'll run the numbers to you one more time here as Eagles Nation broke this down for us rather well. Eagles keep their 15th pick, so they're at 15 and 18 in the first round of this draft. Now, also, mind you, they get a additional first-round pick in next year's draft, so that comes into play pretty well. Then you look at how it overall breaks down. Here you see again at the top there, the two first-round picks, 15 and 18 in the upcoming NFL draft. So I'm hoping that the Eagles go heavy defense. Now, next year's draft is going to look a little bit different when, again, going back to this, you have your own first-round pick and then the terrible Saints pick, then when I say terrible pick, I mean the Saints are terrible. Their pick is great. Mi scusi. That's what I mean by that. So this is more a deal done for next year, not what's going to happen at the end of this month. This is the hedging of the bets. And if Jalen Hurts does absolutely ball out and defy the odds, you got 2 first-round picks to build around him. So let's party. At first, I didn't see the second-round pick, and then when I saw it, that became the game changer. John, absolutely. I mean, look. When the Eagles said, one thing I believed is when Howie Roseman said we weren't all in. We're not in go for it mode. And as much as you'd love to say, yeah, go for it, you got to be all in, you got it, all that, they haven't been. And throughout the offseason, they haven't been. Everything has been for the draft. And if everything's about the draft, then you ain't all in. Because even if you draft a great player, it's still going to take time to develop them at the professional level. So for me, yes, if you're going for the draft, you're not going for right now. But Alyssa, good morning. How are you? Jim Grassmeter, what's up, buddy? Jim, good morning to you. Mally, Friday opening day. Just need to hear high hopes. Oh yeah. I mean, this is not an original thought, and I might have already said this on the show months ago, but high hopes needs to be the 7th inning stretch song. Like that, like I love it at the like play it again. Play Harry singing it at the end of the game when they win. That's great. But I need high hopes. I need that to be everyone standing up. Like, what do they play? They play Lazy Mary in New York with the Mets. Sweet Caroline. Although when I was in Boston, I felt like they played Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning for some weird reason. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I felt like, I don't know, I was drunk. But I feel like they play Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning. Fuji, what's up, Fuji? But they need to play, that needs to be a song that people are around for. Not when people are leaving, trying to beat traffic. That needs to be a song that people are in their seats. Everyone's belted at. Just what makes that silly old ant think he can move that rubber tree plant? You know, that whole thing? Don't even get me started. Anyway, it's me starting me, so I'll stop me. Anyway, Alyssa, good morning. Excited for Derek Gunn? We should all be. Mike, what's going on? Mike Fuji, nice to have you. Dan Schwartz, good morning, Dan. The Gunfather. Nope, all I got back there is the Penguin. Jameis Winston. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. Drop because he's hurt. Gunfather is amazing. I think they go defensive end or defensive tackle with one and cornerback or safety with the other. John Cheeseborough, I think you're exactly right. I'm on those same page. I'm on that same page, but I wouldn't be shocked if Howie went defense, then offense, depending on how the board went. But Gunfather is thinking possibly wide receiver goes in there. Mark Zines. What's up, Mark Zines? Sean McGee. What's up, Sean? Mullet. What's happening? Happy Tuesday. Who says happy Tuesday? I would have to pay Joel to own me. Alyssa, I would pay to have Joel own me in NBA 2K. So I was talking to you guys yesterday about like my boomerist tendencies about like video game. No, this is last week about how I went from like Madden 07 or 08. This was from the Milton Williams interview. And by the way, thanks to all the people that watched that. That took off over the weekend. But I played NBA 2K a couple years ago with my wife's nephew, who at the time was like 11. He was the Golden State Warriors. I was the Sixers. This was like actually before Joel Embiid even like played for the Sixers, but he was on the roster. So I got to play with a shaved head Joel Embiid, like young Joel Embiid, skinny Joel Embiid. This kid whooped my ass. I mean, rightfully so. I was the process Sixers. He was the Warriors. But like how the game works now is beyond my comprehension. Like I haven't played since then. And I've played a lot of Madden. I've made probably too much Madden. And that's pretty much it. I pretty much only play sports games, like one other game. But yeah, the NBA 2K is like beyond my realm of understanding. Like that's how advanced that game has become. Mally, damn, Mark, you got PJ work while he is sick? Shake my head. You a mean man. PJ, feel better, my guy. Let me tell you something about PJ, okay? I don't got to worry about that guy. You know why? He's a warrior. I went over to his house, and I said, PJ, you look terrible. He was achy. He was grabbing his side. His eyes were bloodshot. He was sweaty, right? He shaved off part of his head for whatever reason. I don't know. And I'm like, dude, take a day off. And he looked me in the eyes. Well, don't forget, he's 8'1". So he looked me in the eyes and he said, Mark, I'm a warrior. I said, I know. That's all. I just had to do my due diligence. That's all. So I take no responsibility. I'm pulling a Duck Rivers. I'm ducking responsibility. And I'm telling you right now, PJ said he's a warrior. He wanted to work. None of what I said is true, but he is a warrior. Bruce Howie, John Cheeseborough, Bruce Arians found a loophole in the Rooney Rule. After March 1st, they don't have to interview 2 external candidates. And they can just hire from within. The NFL isn't happy. Bruce Arians, look, yes, he coached the Temple Owls. Yes, he coached them when I was like 3. So I don't have like an allegiance. I love the fact that he's got roots there. But Bruce Arians is the perfect guy that I think of, that a guy that should be a Temple football coach. Like, he just wants to coach football, go back to his room and drink a 6-pack of beer and eat a cheesesteak. And that's what he said he did when he was Temple football coach. This guy doesn't give a damn. Like, anyone that can look at authority and be like, yeah, go to hell. Like, I have so much appreciation for you. And Bruce Arians is the kind of guy to look at authority and be like, oh, those are your rules? Is that what those are your rules? The rules that you have there? Those adorable little rules you wrote down to make yourself feel good? Go to hell. Here's my rules. Loophole, my rule. Come on in. Todd Bowles, another Temple guy. What's up? I would have the opinion of Joe Embiid. Where's PJ been? I feel empty not hearing from him in a while. Well, that's where he explains he hasn't been feeling well. Man's a warrior. I like how everyone was really worried about you, PJ. You're good. Ooh, Mark Zines, thank you. Farzy, good shirt selection today. Yeah, a lot went into this one. I will have you know, I had to do some running around after the show yesterday. I had to take my daughter to school and all that fun stuff. And then for yous guys, I went to Target. And I was like, let me just see if I can just buy another shirt real quick. I don't feel like doing laundry. I'll just buy another shirt, which is pretty much my dishes. Like in college, I threw away dishes before I washed them. They were cheap dishes, but whatever. Like I just did laundry and like washing clothes. Like washing dishes, it doesn't appeal to me. Much better than yesterday, Mark. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, yesterday's color schemes were all thrown off because of the dark red shirt that I took out of the I took out. Anyway. PJ, smoke 2 joints and get a cup of tea. It's a lot of herbs. You feel better in 15 minutes, I swear. Look at you, Mally. Dr. Mally. Mally, not for nothing. But if I ever went into a hospital, God forbid, and a guy walked in a stethoscope and the scrubs and the white coat, and he was looking at a chart, and then he like looked at the chart, saw my last name, and looked up and saw me, and be like, no way, Farzy, it's Mally. That ever happened, I would probably leave the hospital. Well, first I'd get a medical card from you. Is that what I would do? And then I'd leave the hospital. Checks a bigger oh yeah. I think no, you guys, if you guys don't understand how to retire, call my man Mike Seibert, destinationretirement.com. Gunner disrespecting Mark's fishing skills. Hasn't he seen Kayak Farzy? The man is a fishing legend. Thank you, Mally. Much appreciated. Troy, what's up, Troy H? Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you. Those espressos are Farzi's secret weapon. Sean, it ain't no secret. Chendan, huh? Here's the thing about Derek Gunn. I think that he thinks. Well, first off, let me get this out of the way. I think he thinks I can't fish. After that, I think Derek Gunn thinks that I would just post it on social media a bunch. That I just want to go fishing with the guy. That's all. That's all. And you know what? It's disrespectful to my father to think that he raised a man that doesn't know how to fish. By the way, anyone in the chat familiar with Ambler, the Ambler area? I used to fish at a place called St. Mary's. It was a fishing club that my dad and I would sign up for. And there was this beautiful building on it. And I think it was built by one of the Keysby or Madison, whatever it was. I think it was Madison, because I think it was close to Madison Avenue where I was born, actually. And it's like somebody posted it in a chat, a group I'm friends with on Facebook. And like they built condos around it, like this beautiful old building that looks like a castle. And they built like condos around it. And like, I'm grateful to have the memories at St. Mary's and all that stuff. But like what they did to that little area in Ambler, I'm like, oh man, breaks my heart. Alyssa, autopsy report, death by Farzy espresso. Yeah. Big Buford burger, baby. Oh man, John, don't tease me. Sean Gillespie, Big Buford. That was an ultimate, man. That was an ultimate. Going around the corner, 16th and Fairmount where I lived in college. Oh, pots and pans. Pots and pans. Delicious. Oh, April, there you go. April, listen to the episode with Sal Pal on Gun on One. Definitely do that. John Cheesebro's asking for a Farzy, Broads, and Gunner draft special. Maybe. Jim Grassmeter. Got to go with a cornerback with one of their first-round picks, and it's a throwing league, and then their cornerback depth is basically nothing. I've seen Stingley as well. If he falls to that spot, I see him rising for whatever reason. His draft stock is rising. Bag of hot chips and a bag of hot chips and a Big Buford burger. Sean, nothing beats it. Craig, what's going on? It is a party in here. John Cheeseborough is also talking about Jermaine Johnson from FSU and then Jordan Davis from Georgia. Anybody from Georgia, I'm going to have a hard time rooting against. Yeah, I want that. Everyone's excited about Gunner's chat. Cecil, what's going on? He's a legit goat. You're damn right. That's the Chi-Chi's conversation. I hope I made it clear that I'm a loyal Chi-Chiist, and I miss it dearly. Phil, I always thought Farzy had giant hands. This is a pint glass, for those that don't know. It's a pint glass. No, this is an actual size coffee mug. I'll do this again. Did this a couple of months ago, but for the new people, because we got the new subs. This is a coffee mug, an actual size coffee mug, and those are my banana hands. Hollis Thomas once told me I had baby hands, and I said, Hollis, bro, if there's any part of me that could be a professional athlete other than my 95% free throw shooting, it's my banana hands. Hollis put his hand up to mine, and man, was he disappointed that we had just the same size hands. True story. True story. Evan, this is a pretty damn good comment section, no doubt. Bobby Boucher in regards to me to PJ working through sickness. Farzi's running a sweatshop. No sick days. Mama said no sick days. My wife's nephew. Yeah. Wait, what? Best comment. Okay. Always thought Farzy had giant. I do. Didn't realize they were espresso cups. Sounds like Farzy wants us to boycott Gunn. Don't you dare boycott Gunn. Hey, Evan, you're from Ambler. What's up, man? I was born on Madison Avenue, St. Joseph's Parish. I was baptized at St. Joe's. My dad's whole family, when they came over from Italy, they settled in Ambler. And when I went back to the family's hometown in Italy, everyone knew somebody from Ambler. The whole Ambler and Maida, Calabria, Italy are sister cities. When I was in Italy, everyone was like, oh, you're from Ambler? My sister's from Ambler, or whatever, because of the huge migration in like 1920, 1927. They all worked at the asbestos factory, as a matter of fact. Alyssa, Farzy, why are your hands so big? Jeans, baby. Jeans. Fuji, I'd love it, but no chances he gets out of the top 10. I assume that's what we're talking about there. Oh, Gardner. Yeah, I wish. I do. What? What's happening? Daniel Mark Berghoff. I am from Budapest, Hungary. Hold on. I'll never get to do this. This is the only chance I'll get to do it. Budapest. Eh? Grew up in Willow Grove, PA. Always a big Phillies and Eagles fan since 1964. Welcome in, Daniel. Nice to have you. There you go. There you go. My grandmother, when she came over, she was just a baby, but she lived in Willow Grove. She would go to Willow Grove Park when it was an amusement park. And I used to always go to the mall there when I lived closer to that area. Dan Schwartz, Mark, you don't play GTA? You live the life. The women, the drugs, the cars, the sports. Oh, my goodness. It's so you. Yeah, it's me. When people think of me, they think of Grand Theft Auto. Synonymous, really, when you think about it. Absolutely synonymous. Farzy, Madden 22 on the Xbox. SB, probably not Madden 22. I'm one of those people that I can't justify. Yo, what's up, Real Time? Nice to have you in. I'm one of those people that like I really got to justify it to myself to play video games because here's what it is. I'm investing and wasting time. like that's what it is. Like $60, $50 for a video game. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll pay that. But it's like, if I pay it, then I'll feel like I have to justify it by playing nonstop all the time. And as you guys know, I got Lil Toots in the house. I got Leo in the house now. I got no time for that. Real Time. Mark, check your Twitter DMs. What's up? All right, I will. Wait, did I see that Dan Schwartz is going to see Book of Mormon? Good for you, brother. Enjoy yourself. Cecil, my wife's nephew. Maybe the meanest thing I've ever heard. You think he calls you my aunt's husband? Honestly, Cecil, I'm not kidding you. My wife's nephew, both of them, they're 17 and 15. They call me Uncle Awesome. That's not a joke. And I did not tell them to call me that. But I feel like, just to be specific, like, yeah, I call, like, my nephew, like, I introduced, whatever. But, like, just so you know, it's from my wife's family. Now my family, because, you know, we got married, that whole thing. That's how it works sometimes. All the time. Yeah, those are espresso cups. We got to that. Appreciate you. His mullet, what's going on? Don't disrespect Leo. What? Evan, you're not going to be Uncle Awesome anymore. Yeah, damn right. Oh, wow. That's a pull. Mullet saying, wow, random Mike Scott question. Is he going to be rocking the Commanders Wentz jersey? I need to get Mike Scott on the show. Freaking love Mike Scott, former Sixer. He and I apparently both really like Jack Daniels. So that's reason enough to get him on the show as far as I'm concerned. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Appreciate all you guys, all great insight, all great lines and all that stuff. You guys are fantastic. Let's get into our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to be afraid of Bryson Stott. And I don't mean the fact that the man's going to go on an absolute tear. I mean the fact that he's 0 for 5 in his last 5 at bat. What the hell, man? I think if I recall the numbers correctly, his batting average has plummeted from like 529 in the spring to 442. What? He's lost it. He's lost it, folks. Phil Ridden, I missed you. Good morning to you as well. To me, ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing. Daniel says that he was at Willow Grove Amusement Park, lived in Jamestown Village Apartments. First girlfriend was there, called her Hoagie Nose. Daniel, I feel like we've really gotten to know each other in these couple of comments here. Interesting. But that's what you got. So what the hell was I talking about? Bryson Stott, 0 for 5. Batting average club is still hitting like 429 in the spring. He's amazing. Mickey Moniak's still pretty damn amazing. 329 in the spring. He's hitting bombs for you this spring. I don't try to get worked up about spring training. Aaron Nola allowed a lot of home runs. Aaron Nola settled in nicely in his last start. You at least saw him doing the things you want to see Aaron Nola do when he comes north. Yeah, I don't freak out. I don't think Bryson Stott is going to be Michael Jack Schmidt. I don't think Mickey Moniak is going to be Mickey Mantle in center field. I don't even think he's going to be Shea Victorino in center field. But give them the opportunity. I just want to say this. I think, and I'm saying this now because there's going to be a point in the season where they're struggling, and some people are sticking their head to their chests out, talking about how great. Oh, you thought the Phillies were going to be so great. You thought they were going to be fantastic, undefeated, bashing home runs left and right. No. I think everyone has been very real They haven't been saying Bryson Stott's going to be incredible. They haven't been saying Mickey Moniak's going to be untouchable. They haven't said that Cassiano, Schwarber, Harper, Hoskins, Real Muto are going to hit 300 home runs. Like, I think everyone has been like, wow, this lineup is going to mash. They're going to have a lot of defensive problems, a lot of question marks with pitching. But if they can out-hit everybody, they can win. That's been, I think, the MO. And when it comes to the younger guys and Moniak and Stott, I feel like everyone's had a great head on their shoulders by simply saying this. Not that they're going to go into the Hall of Fame, no piping hot takes, nothing ridiculous there, but just give them the opportunity. That's all we're asking for. Matt Vierling, give him the opportunity. Mickey Moniak, give him the opportunity. Give these guys a chance to show you they can be big league ball players on the reg and see how it goes from there. That's all people are asking for. I love the expectations set by Phillies fans so far this year. And I feel like all of them are legit, and I feel like none of them are huge reaches. Even to say that the Phillies could win the division. They absolutely could win the division. We were talking to our man Kerwin yesterday, talking about how this team should win the division. I'm like, all right, hey, I'm here for it. I hope so. A lot of things are going to have to go right. Chris Wheeler has, or Zach Wheeler, first time I did it. Zach Wheeler's got to do exactly what he did last year. That's a lot to ask. Aaron Nola's got to get back to what he was doing 3 years ago. That's a lot to ask. Ranger Suarez has to prove himself as a starting pitcher at the Major League level. That's a lot to ask. Kyle Gibson has to do what he was doing a couple of years ago with consistency. Knable's got to be able to close out games for you. And the lineup has to do exactly what the one piping hot take we've had is about the lineup that they're absolutely going to rake, and they should absolutely rake this year. But I commend Phillies fans for not going overboard with things and saying basically very real things throughout the offseason, especially once they got Nick Castellanos. It hasn't been, Castellanos is here, World Series. It's Castellanos is here, the lineup's complete. Let's give Bryce Stott a chance. Let's give Mickey Moniak a chance to see what the rotation does and see what the bullpen does, because we've seen so many different makeovers of the bullpen and they've all sucked. Well, here's another makeover of the bullpen. Hopefully it doesn't suck. But I just wanted to get that out of the way and just say, people, really appreciate what you're doing. Go 2 hours. Wait, Mullets now wants to know about Hoagie Nose. I don't know either. Hannah, what's up, Hannah? Hannah wants Ben Verlander back on the show as soon as possible. I really like talking to him. He was a lot of fun. And Hannah, something tells me you enjoyed him too. Phil, thirsty Hannah? Oh boy, April, you're the best. Evan, thanks so much. Everybody in the chat, Matt Snell, what's going on? Everybody in the chat, thanks again. Appreciate you guys. Incredible win by Kansas last night over North Carolina. This is another part of our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars. I was amazed. I liked UNC going into the game. I thought UNC's depth was going to be good enough, and it was for a while, and then they fell apart in that second half. Kansas only scored, 15 points in the first half, 14 points in the first half, and then they scored 14 points in the first 8 minutes, I think, of the second half. They jumped out, and they erased a 15-point lead and overcame the biggest deficit at halftime in NCAA tournament history in the championship game. NCAA tournament history. That's pretty incredible. So congrats to Kansas. They fought. They came back. Shout out to McCormick. The kid was untouchable last night. Great game all around. And how do you step out of bounds? Anyway, but pretty incredible. Now, I don't know if they bet a money line. I don't know if they bet with points or not. But apparently Danny Green now owes Joel Embiid $50,000 for the game last night. I don't know if it was points. If it was points, then the Kansas did not cover. So then Danny Green would keep his $50,000 and get $50,000 from Joel Embiid. But that's how it works. Something tells me they didn't bet points. They just bet money line. That's amazing. We'll see. We'll get an answer from Joe hopefully after the game tonight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hey, bonus meet today. You can flip over to 9:90 a.m. and I'll be on the line with my friend Chris DeGaulle, talking all things NCAA tournament, talking Eagles trade, probably talking some Sixers, some Phillies. So more of me if you want on 9:90 The Answer with my friend Chris DeGaulle. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. PJ's alive and well. Yep, the hair on that side of the head is growing back just from shaving it, just so you stop sweating so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys tomorrow with some more Phillies coverage. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And my thanks to D-Gunn and his amazing song. See you, bye, everybody. Bye.